now I have a little thing that we'll show in a minute, but talk about your impression of the day. What were your takeaways from it?
Well, we went to the Hands Off March.
Hmm.
And I know you were doing some shorts, so we did some live hits there. And had a friend we met up with there, and then ran into other people
Yep.
in the middle of this. It was huge. I don't know how many people were there, Greg. It was like easily 100,000 people showed up for New York City alone. Um, so it was all what was it even down? I mean, it was Fifth Avenue, I think, and
Went down Fifth Avenue. It was
we went
Fifth
down Fifth
Avenue from
Avenue.
Bryant Park to Madison, which is 20 blocks, which is a mile. It's a mile.
It's a
But
mile,
yeah,
and we were cutting across and kept coming because I have a hard time in the crowd because it was so packed. It really was packed, and I know I'm not alone in all that. Uh, so we had a sort of our strategy, and we kept trying to get in front of this thing and get views where we could see how big and vast it was. I will say the energy was incredible.
hmm,
It was, of course, nonviolent and peaceful. There was a very diminished police presence, which probably is why it was so peaceful,
yeah,
frankly, because people don't need to be policed when they're just, talking about. You need to police are there for traffic, and let us just talk about being peaceful and what we want from our government. So, uh, the organizers I thought were really great, and so a couple of people had asked the police, and they were posting about this, like, God, there's not very much presence here, and they said, frankly, we had no idea it was going to be this big. So
mm,
I do think the city was not. It's not that they weren't prepared or they couldn't handle it; they just really didn't know. They completely underestimated how many people were going to show up. We rode the train down, and the car was full of people going
yeah,
to this
yeah.
from Hudson Valley. So it's where we rode down from there. So a lot of people, really good vibe. Everybody skewing older. There weren't a lot of young people, and there weren't a lot of people with their kids.
Yeah.
I felt young. Did you feel? Yeah, I felt kind of young in that crowd. So these are the sort of older activists that are showing everybody how it's done. And they did it great. It was
Yeah.
great.
I mean, one of the things with the cops, like, because the cross streets were open, many of them were.
Yeah.
So when the light changed, people would come out and they would hold hands kind of across so that people couldn't wander, so that the cars could go by. And then
Yeah.
when the light changed again, they would stop, and then it would continue.
Yeah.
If there were more police there, the police would do that. But it was very well organized, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And the
my
police were like, thank you. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Keep doing that.
my sense with stuff like that, like, especially if it's an extra thing, they're just happy to get the overtime. Honestly, they're
Yeah.
just like, "This is great. I'm getting overtime." I remember a couple of years ago, like, right when I forget, it was outside of Trump Tower, and where they had to put the what do you call the metal things, the fence, what do you call those things?
Barriers,
That barriers,
okay.
and they're watching Trump, and nobody's doing anything. It's just,
No.
and they're like, "Oh, this is great. We get overtime. We're just sitting here." They're just happy. So
Yeah.
that part was totally fine. There was a lot of really good signs.
A
The
lot of great songs.
weather cooperated, and the thing about New York is that it's easy to get to, and it's easy to leave, and it's easy to disperse, and it's easy to gather. And that makes it a really good place to have a mass protest, unlike Washington, which is not easy
Not
anyway.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't get out. If you get
Hmm.
in, there's no getting out. I do think also, I mean, we just really wanted to go.
Yeah.
Um, but I was surprised at how much my spirit needed that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It was good. It felt good to go. It felt
Yeah.
good to go.
And I
Um,
think for sure now that, you just didn't see a lot of coverage of it. It was so huge and it just got drowned out. But rest assured, um, there'll be, it's going to get spicy now because outside agitators are going to come in and try to, they always do and do their thing with it.
right.
Um, so I just want to, hopefully the folks, I think this was an Indivisible thing mostly that helped organize it for Hands
I
Off.
believe so. Yeah. There's a
And I
couple
remember
different
asking that
organizations.
New York, head of the New York individuals, like, are you ready for the things to come in, like what happened with Occupy and what happened with all these things? If you're going to start organizing events, you're going to end up with these agitators and people who seek to spin it and turn it, and we'll have whatever the next made up Antifa thing is. So I don't have the sense that anyone's got a strategy for dealing with that. So maybe we should, that would be my one takeaway is like, it's time to kind of come up with a game plan for that. Or if one exists and it is, I need to know about it. It's not something I've found. I would like, come on the show and tell us what your plan is for all the agitation that's going to come in as we keep rolling out these protests. Because I do think the protests are going to grow and grow and grow. I really do.